Align and Awaken with Mother Earth Rising podcast. Let's rise and heal together with me, Pippa, your Mother Earth healer. Hi guys, welcome back. So I've decided to talk about something that has really been coming up for me a lot over the last couple of weeks. So some of you who follow me on a daily basis, or you know my story, Chris and I have just had a separation period, which basically means, we're twin flames and he's actually in New Zealand now. So this means that I'm stuck here in England, but using the word stuck isn't the right word. I feel like I'm here for a reason, and I've been exploring that reason for the last 3 weeks, wondering, why am I still here? What do I need to do? Why are we separated this time? And something hit me today that one thing that Chris and I have been working on this whole year, separately and as a couple, is our toxic ego, our unhealthy ego, and our triggers. So as twin flames, we know that we can trigger each other, and there's not been many, to be honest. At the beginning of the relationship, there were some moments where we triggered each other, but it was the healthy way. We worked through it as a couple. So I want to just talk about triggers and toxic ego in this episode. And one thing that I've realized today, as well as being a Mother Earth healer, I am now calling myself the ego coach. Now, my title doesn't really matter. We can call ourselves whatever, but really what it is what we're going to help people with. So an ego coach, if you're wondering what that means, is I am helping you ditch the toxic ego to then own your purpose and divinity. And when I say that, it just seems and feels empowering. It feels liberating. It feels right for me, following that intuition. And I want to remind you as well that having your ego, healthy ego, is great. Unhealthy ego can be so destructive. So I just want to talk about a few triggers that I've overcome this year. One trigger was that I would be told that I was too much or too kind or too nice. And that was a trigger for me, because I would think, well, is that because I'm not nice enough? Or do I need to be meaner? Do I need to be different? And the issue was I was changing. Years ago, I would change for people. I would be a different person for people. And it led to exhaustion. Like, I was exhausted all the time. I would just try and be everything for everyone. And one of the big triggers as well is people telling you who you are. I bet some of you listening have had times where you've been told you're not good at English, you're not good at your job, you're not good at this, you can't do that. And we tend to believe it, and I don't know why. We just do, and it's easy to believe that kind of stuff. But as years go on, and as we get older, and as we become more adults and we have a mind of our own, these triggers start to come up a lot more, and they make us realize we have growth. We still have to have that growth. And another trigger as well is about not being worthy of love. So I've had toxic relationships in the past, and I would always feel like I was the nice one in the relationship, and I was the giving one in the relationship, and I never had it reciprocated. So since meeting Chris, my whole life has transformed. And not only because I've met Chris, but because I have done the inner work, I have done the trigger work. And being triggered, again, is a human experience. And I've said it before, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And we have to remember that. And we have to remember that triggers are our friends, not our enemies. So when you are triggered on a daily basis, I want you to remember that it's really meant for you, and you have to work on those triggers. I did a reel on Instagram today, which was pretty funny. It was about what the ego does when it's triggered, and it's basically just feel sorry for itself and isolate themselves and drink and just do things that don't really nourish your soul. If your higher self gets triggered, you then go into thought therapy, you do some journaling, you meditate, you ask, what feeling is that what feeling is that triggering, and where have I felt this before? And, how am I going to deal with this? And how am I going to react to this? And what is it teaching me? And then you may go for a walk, you may do loads of different things. So working through triggers is a commitment, and you have to commit to those. And that is why I've just really stepped into being an ego coach, because it is something that I've worked on all year. And I can finally say I'm at a place where I don't think many things can trigger me anymore. If it does, great, because I know it's still growth, and I'm not saying I'm never going to be triggered again, because that is an understatement. I'm probably going to be triggered quite a lot in my future. But even our spiritual teachers and the people I look up to, they were triggered till the day they died, or that they're older as well. So it's taking it in your own stride and staying in your lane and remembering that your triggers are your friends, and you have to keep working on those triggers because they are here to teach you. They are here to help you grow. And again, if it comes up as a pattern, if it comes up as repetitive, it's meant for that. You're meant to have that trigger to help you grow and to learn from it the next time. And as well, Chris and I have just done so much work around it, and we said, wouldn't it just be amazing living your life day to day, not being affected by anything, living a full life of positivity, having no negativity in your life? Yes, there's going to be heartbreak. Yes, there's going to be death. There's going to be people that you lose. But ultimately, when you get to a point as where I am now, it's all for you, not happening to you. All this is happening for you. All these emotions are for you to feel into. As humans, we've labeled sadness, we've labeled right and wrong, we've labeled good and bad. We know the difference because of what we've labeled, but actually just feeling into who you are, your soul, your needs, and actually what triggers you. You can have good triggers, you can have bad triggers, but the difference. And I think every trigger is meant for you. It's, I've had a trigger as well, can be a catalyst. I was a huge catalyst for Chris, and Chris was a huge catalyst for me. So their triggers as well. It's how you're perceiving them. And it's remembering to ditch the unhealthy ego. The unhealthy ego makes you believe that you are separate from everyone else, that you are just crazy, you're silly, you're stupid, no one's going to listen to you. The ego makes you feel like crap. And the healthy ego is the one that protects you, is the one that makes you get out of a road. If a bus is on its way to you, it helps you to stay safe. The unhealthy ego it can be really destructive. And that is what causes the anxiety. That is what causes the stress and the worry in society right now, because we're triggered and we don't deal with them properly. And the trigger turns into just turmoil. So I want to help you ditch that unhealthy ego and to own your purpose and your divinity, because you are a divine being. Think about the day you were born. You didn't have any triggers then. You were just a divine little creation of the universe. And from day one, you were just, everything was made for you. Everything was there for you. You had 9 months in your mum's tummy and everything was there ready for you. And as we get older, things happen. Teachers tell us we're not good at something, or our parents say we're naughty, or some of you may go through really severe trauma as a child, and that can have a really negative effect on you as when you're older. So it's my passion and it's my purpose, and I think that's why I'm really getting into that at the moment, because I've done so much ego work. I've done so much trigger work this year that I really feel like I am never in ego anymore. And if I do slip into ego, very rarely, I catch myself straight away. So does Chris. Sometimes we can catch ourselves being judgmental, and that is just behavior. That is just what we've programmed to be like. And we've stopped. We've realized that we catch ourselves, and it is a commitment. It's a habit change. So whenever you find yourself just maybe judging someone, or, getting into that gossip, just pull yourself out of it and ask your higher self to lead the way. Ask the universe to help you to realize what that trigger is, and to be around people who ignite positivity, who ignite things that help you grow. Yeah, there's going to be people in your life who are meant to be there to trigger you. That is just how life is. And it's knowing that, not asking why me, it's asking what is this teaching me? What is this? Why do I need to grow from this? What can I learn from this? So all those friends who've triggered you, all the family members who've triggered you, all the work colleagues who've triggered you, send them love, send them gratitude, because they're the ones who have helped you grow. They're the ones who've really helped you step into that divinity. So over the next few weeks, I'm going to be interviewing people who have dealt with their triggers and what triggers they're actually dealing with right now, because it's something that we need to talk about. Because even though I'm a spiritual being, I have still had that human experience and having it every single day. And triggers are part of the human experience. And I believe that the triggers is where it starts. You get triggered, your anxiety starts, you then just go into a mind full of just so much crap that can just be filtered out with the right tools. So imagine having that feeling of freedom and empowerment because you've worked through those triggers. And again, it's that level of commitment that you want to take in on this journey, because a lot of you will be spiritual and a lot of you still will be getting triggered. It could be just being on social media and seeing other people in your industry doing better than you. Who says that's better than you? You know, that is just a level of worth you have on yourself. So the self-worth is a huge part of that as well. We have to remember that. It is like self-worth is huge with triggers, and knowing that you are worthy of it all, and knowing that these triggers are just for you and everyone is completely different. And whenever one arises now, I just know how to handle it. I know how to react to it. I know that it's part of my routine. It's part of my habits to get triggered, and then I work through it, and then I come out better at the end. So I want to help you give some examples from other people, real life people. Even though we're spiritual coaches and we're doing all this spiritual mindset stuff and our spiritual journeys, we still have our human experience. And that's what I want to help you with today. And that's what I want to bring onto the podcast over the next couple of weeks. So anyone who's listening who can resonate with this and you're triggered on a daily basis and you really want to work through this, please send me a direct message on my Instagram, Mother Earth Healer Pippa. And I will speak to you about coming onto the podcast to talk about different things. But other than that, I'm going to leave you there and just let that sink in for a minute. You know, what are your triggers? Where are they coming up a lot? And, you know, write them down and then send me a message. Just send me a message and see what comes up. But I'm really excited to be talking more about this. You know, this is really one of my passions, and I think that's why I've been led down this path, because I've done so much ego work this year and I've read a lot about it. So now it's time for me to step into this and help you with your ego, ditching that toxic ego to owning your purpose and your divinity, because you are a divine being. So wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having an amazing day. I'm sending love and light always, and I will chat to you all very soon. Bye for now.